Monkey. It's me, Trevor. Welcome to my Skyloft. This is literally a loft in my bedroom. Maybe I'll do a tour of it sometime. We're not even here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the fact that I love doing YouTube, but sometimes there's a lot of stuff that goes on in my life that comes first. And so I wanted to have a video that kind of keeps you guys updated, but is also entertaining. So it's not just like, oh, here's an update about why I'm not keeping up. It's like literally going to have some content with it. So what I would do when things are kind of chaotic and I have other things going on in my life is I would come on, do an update, tell you like the status of some of the things that are going on with videos, so I could give you those kind of updates, explain that stuff. And to make the video entertaining, I watch a lot of people do pickup videos, which I absolutely love watching those, and maybe you guys would enjoy that too. One of the questions I get a lot is like, man, you probably spend so much money on video games, right? I honestly don't. I shop around as smart as I can. I hit flea markets, pawn shops, yard sales, garage sales, that type of stuff. I look online. I always look for the best kind of deals to save money and buy my games. And so I figured I'd do one of these monthly updates, tell you what's going on, and then show you the pickups I got that month. To start off with the updates, I've been working on the channel to kind of change things. I've got new title cards going in, I'm working on new video series, and I'm kind of quitting older video series. I probably will quit doing reviews entirely because it's a little expensive to keep up with modern reviews, but those will probably be done. The Sonic comics, I hate to say it, I don't think I'm going to continue that. Now, let me make it clear that if you guys have an idea of how I can approach that and make it entertaining but also fresh, I may hear you out and continue doing those. I will continue to do my video game tattoos, I will continue to do my Shitty Games Exploratory, I will continue to do my history of Resident Evil, and I have a new series that I'm currently working on. It's why there's kind of been an absence here. It's not necessarily video game related at all. About 75% done with that. I think everyone will enjoy that. But outside of that, that's just kind of what's going on with the channel. If you have any questions, inputs, thoughts, whatever, just let me know. Let's kind of have an open air about this because I make these videos for you, not for me. And then the last part I'm most excited about is doing pickups. I probably will do this monthly and give you guys updates of what's going on. And every month I'm just going to kind of go over some of the games I picked up that month, maybe the experiences or what happened behind them. Right now I'm just going to kind of wing it, see how it goes, and if it needs improvement, then we'll give it an improvement in the future. I spent a lot of money on games this month because I found some amazing deals. The first thing I did, I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. Check out my Resident Evil history videos. You might enjoy those, and it's something I'm continuing to work on. I picked up some games on PlayAsia.com. If you're not familiar with the website, it's actually a website that you can import video games that may not have been released here in the States. Now, the two games I picked up have been released in the States, but only digitally. I really wanted the physical copies. The first one is Resident Evil, the Chronicles HD set, which is Umbrella Chronicles and Darkside Chronicles from the Wii. This compiles both of them. It is not in English, the voice acting is, but none of the subtitles or menus are. So that can be a little confusing, but if you played the games, you know what's going on, and it's just a point and shoot game on rails. So I picked that up. The other one I got, which I really didn't want to get because it didn't look that great, was Resident Evil Umbrella Corps. I was honestly kind of surprised by it, and I put it in. I probably wasted 30 or 40 hours into it, which I wasn't expecting to. The people that play this game don't know how to fucking play it though. It's fun though, it really is, because it's just quick, rapid gameplay, and you just get in, get out, and you're done. Would I recommend purchasing it? Definitely not physical, because you're going to pay more to import it. Maybe digitally. If you're a fan of Resident Evil, I think you'd enjoy it. The next thing, I don't know if you've ever heard of GameFlip. GameFlip is just kind of like an eBay app, which is solely dedicated for video games. People just selling their games. And I found somebody who was selling the camera, the navigation controller, the move controller, and 4 games. And so I bought that. It was really cheap. It was like $30. It was a great deal. And that's really what you find on this website. So I highly recommend checking out GameFlip.com, or, well, it's just an app, I think. I have it on my phone. So just look up GameFlip in the phone. And anyways, I picked that up, and they had a few games with it. I got Sports Champions, which was kind of like their Wii Sports. Cool. Kung Fu Riders. This is a really good game. Like, surprisingly good. Like, take Jet Set Radio and mix it with Crazy Taxi and just boom, this is the game you get. The controls are a little hard to remember because they're all like, ooh, move it this way plus push this. It gets a little chaotic, but holy shit, really good game. Medieval Moves, I didn't even put it in. I hate games that I need to get a print out for that. But Sorcerer MV Dar, I guess that's Move, I don't know. I read the reviews. It was kind of a generic game, so to me it was just something else to put on the shelf. I'll probably play it at some point. I have a thing that if we go out of town, I have to hit up pawn shops, and I have like this issue that I can't walk into a pawn shop without buying something and taking it out. So this last time we went in there, I couldn't find anything I wanted, and thankfully I didn't just buy something for the sake of buying something. As I was leaving, I found a game that I used to have and I had sold. Not this, that's not the fun one. Jet Set Radio. Wow, Jet Set Radio Future. It's 2 games in one. But yeah, so I picked that up. It was literally $2. Recently, with the craze of Pokemon Go, a lot of my friends have been playing that, and one of my friends posted on Snapchat, she was at a party and they were playing Pokemon Stadium. Now, one thing to know about me is I used to have a pretty big collection of video games. 10 years ago, I was going to marry a girl, so I sold everything I had game-wise to marry her. It was a good decision. Wasn't, because she cheated on me. I kind of feel like the past 10 years I've been trying to like reclaim everything I lost from that. Point being, I saw her playing that and I used to have it. So I messaged her and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe you have that game. You have to let me borrow that. And she literally said, just come pick it up sometime. Pokemon Stadium, she just gave it to me. So awesome of her. Also that day I was thinking in my mind, after I picked that up, I was like, you know what, I could have swore I remember seeing Pokemon Snap at like this local pawn shop I had been in. So I went back to it and of course picked that up. I don't know, I had a lot of fun playing it as a kid. I still kind of did playing it recently. I literally got it for like $4 recently. We went to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Well, they have a really nice game store, little vintage store called, I can't remember me, so I'm just gonna put it here because obviously I can do that in editing. It was a great store though. I've been there a few times. I remember this being good as a kid. It's not. See, as a kid, I thought this game was just hard, and I was not good at it. No, it sucks. That's why. Pac-Man 2, The New Adventures. Got it for $3 though, so no complaint. Just that it's kind of like a point-and-click game without being a good point-and-click game. They also had Still Diver for $2. Yeah, sure, why not? Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I had like a huge obsession with Garfield growing up. I think I still do. So I saw this and just had to buy it just because it was Garfield. $5, Lasagna World Tour. Surprisingly, I played it for like 2 hours and had a lot of fun with it. Probably one of the games I played the most as a kid was Garfield Caught in the Act. It was like a game that had different stages and it was on the Sega Genesis, and each stage was like a themed thing where it was like Dracula or Mummy. I don't know. It's been so long, but I used to play that a lot. I'm a huge Superman fan too. If you haven't checked it out, check out my Shitty Games Exploratory of Superman 64. That was fun game. But I came across this, Superman Shadow of Apocalypse. I've never even heard of it. Honestly, I think from what I played, this was like what Superman 64 set out to be. I was really surprised by this, and $5, so good steal. As we were leaving the store and reiterating the fact that I'm a huge Resident Evil fan, I actually have the box to Resident Evil 2 for the Nintendo 64, but I actually don't have the physical copy, and I don't know why that is. I had always wanted the actual physical cart. Yeah, they had it. It's the same price it was on eBay, so I said, screw it, just go with it, because I can see the cart, and the cart looks good. $18. Wasn't too bad. Really happy about that pickup. I didn't set up lighting, and I'm realizing I will have to do that in my next video. Next time, for an improvement, let's use lighting. So recently I went to a GameStop. I went actually to meet one of my friends that works there. And the last time I went, she actually hung on to the still case for Quantum Break. And while I was there, I wanted to buy a game that I'm not really happy about. I bought the Ghostbusters game for way too much. Honestly, it's not a bad game. Of course it doesn't measure up to, you know, the one that Dan Aykroyd and them put together at Atari. It shouldn't have been $50. If it was a downloadable title for $15, it would have been well worth it. $50 is a steep price to pay for this. Not to mention, the company, 2 days after releasing this, went bankrupt. So, also Capcom's been re-releasing HD versions of Resident Evil 6, 5, 4. I already had bought 6 a month or two ago, so I also picked up 5. The cool thing about these is they're all $20, and it actually includes all of the DLC. So for $20 to have HD remasters of these games, it's well worth the price tag. Picked up Deadly Creatures. It's interesting because you play as, you know, this scorpion or spider following Billy Bob Thornton and Dennis Hopper. This is really weird, but it's like a monster beat 'em up in kind of a 3D space. I don't know. It was like $3. it was definitely worth that price. And then I had also picked up the Platinum Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I honestly don't get why people didn't like it. Like, I hear some of the problems with it, and I kind of agree. I'm not going to sit here and have a big thing about it. I mean, whatever. I thought it was great. For a Platinum game, it was exactly what I thought it would be. There's another game store that I always go to. There's a place called Retro Gamer, I think. I'll put the thing here just in case I've got it wrong. He's got a few stores, and I go there a lot, actually. This last time I went in there, I had went for one reason in mind. We'll get to that in a second. But I always pick up some cheap carts. He sells like basically everything under $10. They had some cheap Super Nintendo carts. I got Family Feud. I don't know why I am a sucker for games like this. Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, Monopoly. I don't know why, but I just get such a thrill out of playing these, and I can play these for hours. This was a lot of fun. $4. Spunky's Dangerous Day. Never even friggin' heard of it. I played it for like 30 minutes and got really pissed off. I wouldn't say it's because it's a bad game. It's just I don't have an instruction manual, and I didn't look up how to play things, and I was really confused. Spunky like walks back and forth, and your point is to get him to the end of the level where there's a golden fire hydrant, and like you play as Rocco, and you're trying to get Spunky there, and there's just like a lot of obstacles in the way, and you don't know what to do, and it gets a little confused. And the last thing, my wife, she had brought up to me that she had never played Super Mario 64, which, what? So when I was in there, they had the cart, and I picked that up. I think it was like $25. And the last thing I picked up at that store, actually, been looking at a Game Boy Advance SP. I went and actually picked that up this last time. And it's nice because we were playing Pokemon Red and Blue too, so it was nice to have that ability to have a backlight to play, you know, anytime, anywhere. My wife also does vinyl shit, and she did this Samus. So cool. The last pickup I got was a huge steal, a huge find, something that will be forever remembered. I went to Cherokee Trader, I think it's called, and it's basically like a flea market pawn shop type of thing. You literally have to dig in piles. There's like hampers full of clothes, and like just everything's thrown in there. It's really dusty. Like I usually wear black slacks because of work, and I'll just come home covered in dust after leaving those places. The first thing I'll discuss, because it wasn't that great of a find, I'd been wanting Wet, like $6. They always have like these older cartridges for like the Nintendo and the Atari and stuff like that, but they're like really, you know, just sports games, copies of games that you see everywhere. So, you know, I was just kind of going through those to see if anything new had showed up. I reached in to move these 64 cartridges, which were just like some racing games, like 1080, jet ski, Volkswagen Beetle racing, stuff like that. Moved them out of the way, and I found like some Super Nintendo cartridges that were laying flat, so I couldn't see like the label, and so I grabbed the first one and pulled it out. Aladdin. And they wanted $10 for all Super Nintendo cartridges, right? $10, sure, I'll buy that. I reach in and grab the next Super Nintendo cart. Donkey Kong Country, the first one. These carts are like in prestige condition too. $10, yes. Grab the next cart. Donkey Kong Country 2. Next one, Donkey Kong Country 3. All $10 carts, okay? Most of these cartridges, especially the Donkey Kong ones, sell for like $30 a piece. There's a few carts left. I grabbed the next cart. Super Mario World. This is great. These are games that I had on Super Nintendo and I had sold when I was going to marry that girl. And so to come back across these for such an affordable rate was great, because literally these carts would sell for $30, $40 on eBay. And so I went, and there was 2 more carts. I picked up one, and it was Super Return of the Jedi? I don't know. I kind of wanted that, and I was moving it over to my buy pile, but there was one last cart, and I was getting close to spending as much money as I should have, and I was like, okay, if this next cart is good, I'll probably get it instead of Super Star Wars. Well, it was Super Mario Kart. I don't know how all these were $10. And what's funny is I knew I was getting a steal because, like I just said, $30, $40 a piece on eBay. I went up to the register, and it was like an older lady, and I gave her the stuff, and she was like, okay, excellent. And she kind of like paused while she was looking. Like, it's like she had the cartridge here, and here's the cash register, and she's looking at the cartridge, and to me, it looks like she's looking at the cartridge. She looks at it and she goes, they've got little $10 price tags on them. She calls this younger guy over, hey, can you come here? And I'm like, oh God. And she's like, were you trying to sell these? And so I'm like kind of freaking out because I'm like, oh my God, these are probably his cards. Like, does he know they got marked to $10? And the guy came and he didn't take the cartridge, but he was looking in that same general area, and he goes, that's definitely wrong. And so I'm like, oh shit, no. Like, he knows these are worth $30 a piece. I'm not going to get them for this price, right? She moves over to kind of let him take over, and he takes over the register. And he starts hitting some things, and I'm kind of freaking out because I'm like, is he jacking up the price without telling me? No. And he's, you know, he's doing his thing, and he goes, okay, I've canceled it all. And so she goes, okay, and she slides back over, and he said, I'm so sorry I did that. And he goes on, and he's like, I'm so sorry I did that. I left the previous transaction on there. I didn't mean to do that. And then he walks off. So literally, that whole thing was because she was looking at the register, and he had previously had a transaction on there that he hadn't cashed out or voided out, and so he came to void it out. That's what was wrong. It wasn't that the cartridges were the wrong price, so I literally did get those off for $10 a piece. But it was such like a, oh god, I'm not going to get these games for the price that they're marked. And I wouldn't have been the person to argue with it either, you know? Like, well, you marked it that price. I mean, it's a flea market type of thing. Yeah. I guess that's really it. This probably stretches on a little bit longer than it needs to, but it's kind of a new way to keep in touch with you, like I said. Tell you a little bit about my pickups, and then you guys can, of course, check those things out. Back to the point where I was talking about how I used to play that Garfield Caught in the Act game all the time on the Sega Genesis. What is, like, your most fond game that you can remember back to playing? Honestly, I played that, Zelda on Nintendo. I have very, 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 very fond memories of that, obviously. And, Mickey Mouse Capade on the original Nintendo. What were yours? Let me know in the comments down below. If you have any input or thoughts about my future videos, let me know down below as well. And any just input for this video series that I plan to do in the future. Thanks so much for watching, and hopefully this is informative and helpful for my channel and my subscribers, so that way I keep you guys knowing what's going on. I'm going to get out of this beanbag I'm slouching in. That's not fun to do. Bye.
Trevor Clark has had his say to help you find good games to play. Game reviews, tattoos, and news. Pawning noobs you'll never